Well, it's the second leading cause of death behind lung cancer, but it's not one we like to talk about. Dr. Stephanie Pannell is here from UTMC with an event that will dispel the myths of colorectal cancer. Good morning. Thanks for being here today. Appreciate it. So I think when we think about cancer, we think about lung cancer, we think about breast cancer, colorectal cancer. I think especially among men, right? They kind of don't want to talk about that sort of thing, huh?
Right. I think colon and rectum is something that people just don't like to talk about, their bowels and things, and they don't realize how deadly that colorectal cancer is.
So you've got an event coming up on Thursday, is that right?
Yes, ma'am, 6 o'clock.
And what are you going to be talking about?
We're going to try to talk a little bit about colon and rectal cancer screening, and we're going to talk about the treatment and kind of some myths that people have that kind of debunk the scariness of colon and rectal cancer and the treatment. So,
yeah, talk a little bit about those screenings, because I would imagine that's your number one way to prevent it from becoming a really big problem for people.
Exactly. And recently the American Cancer Society has changed. Used to the screening for colon and rectal cancer was 50 to start colonoscopy, and now it's 45.
Okay.
So they recommend that you see your doctor and you start screening. With a negative screening test, you only have to go every 10 years.
Okay.
And everybody knows, it's not the test, it's the prep that's bad.
The prep. Yeah. I have gone through 2 colonoscopies, and it's really not that bad. So if I can do it, you guys can do it. Do you find that that's, I think maybe with men too, is it difficult to say, guys, you gotta go and do this,
It
right?
is, and there's, we use different types of sedation now for our screening, and a lot of people have heard stories, 10, 15 years ago where people were awake during their colonoscopy, and it's just, people don't have a misconception of what actual colonoscopies are, so we're trying to educate the public.
And that'll be something that you're talking about at the event coming up on Thursday. What about treatment? So if somebody does get a diagnosis, I would imagine that treatments are changing all the time and getting better. And
absolutely. One of the reasons why I became interested in colon and rectal cancer is that the treatment is so effective. I can truly cure cancer, so it's kind of...
That's awesome.
It is, and people don't realize it's not like breast cancer treatment where your hair falls out and you get sick. The treatment for colon and rectal cancer, the chemotherapy is a lot milder. Okay. And it's a lot more effective. So
yeah, that's another myth, and maybe something that you could dispel about it as well. Is there a way to prevent this, though? Are there risk factors or things that people in their daily lives can do?
Currently, people are under the misconception that it's only genetics, that they don't have a family member, they don't really need to get screened, and they don't really need to look out for symptoms. The bottom line is that screening prevents colon and rectal cancer. So we don't really know exactly what causes colon and rectal cancer, but we do know that by screening that it will reduce the mortality of colon and rectal cancer.
You have to catch that early, and if there are any polyps or anything that come up, you can just get them out of there and
nip it in the bud.
Yeah, exactly. So if people are interested in coming out to the presentation, or there's a wife out there trying to get their husband, when is it going to be? What time? Where is it all going on?
It's March 21st at the Dana Cancer Center at the UTMC campus, and refreshments start at 5:45, and the program starts at 6.
Do you need to sign up ahead of time? Need to register in advance?
You don't need to. You can, but you can just show up. We'll accommodate you.
You'll find a seat and learn a little something, and maybe even put your mind at ease.
Absolutely.
It sounds scary. We're talking about the second leading cause, cancer deaths. So it sounds scary, but it can be preventable, or it can decrease those mortality rates when you're doing those screenings and getting in frequently and following the doctor's orders, right?
That's right.
All right, thanks so much for coming in today.
Thank you.